AC24 RETV ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਪਿਆਰ ਨਾਲ ਮਿੱਠਾ ਗਰਮ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਹੈ ਜੀ। ਮੈਂ ਹਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਹੋਸਟ ਚੀਮਾ। ਅੱਜ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਦੋ ਗੈਸਟ ਜੁੜਨ ਦੀ ਉਮੀਦ ਹੈ ਜੀ। ਇੱਕ ਮਿਸਟਰ ਅਮਰਿਤ ਸੂਰਾ ਫਰੋਮ BC, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸ਼ਹਿਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਐਬਟਸਫੋਰਡ, ਉੱਥੋਂ ਜੁੜਨਾ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਹੈ। ਦੂਸਰੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਇੱਕ ਫਾਈਨੈਂਸ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਸੰਬੰਧ ਰੱਖਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਸੱਜਣ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦਾ ਨਾਮ ਗੁਰਮੀਤ ਸੋਹੀ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਜੁੜਨ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ। ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਮੋਸਟਲੀ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਸੂਰਾ ਜੀ ਥਰਸਡੇ ਨੂੰ ਜੁਆਇਨ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਰਿਕੁਐਸਟ ਕੀਤੀ ਡੇਟ ਚੇਂਜ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ, ਤੇ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਜਲਦੀ ਜੁੜ ਜਾਣ। ਮੈਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਮੈਸੇਜ ਵੀ ਭੇਜ ਰਿਹਾ ਐਜ਼ ਵੀ ਸਪੀਕ, ਸੋ ਉਮੀਦ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜਲਦੀ ਆ ਜਾਣਗੇ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਰਜੀਮ ਹੈ ਟਾਈਮ ਦਾ ਬੜਾ ਸਟ੍ਰਿਕਟ ਹੈ ਜੀ। ਮੈਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਡਰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹੇ ਬੰਦੇ ਨੂੰ ਛੇੜਦੇ ਹੋਏ ਵੀ ਕਿ ਇੰਨਾ ਸਖਤ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਕੋਈ ਬੰਦਾ ਆਪਣਾ ਸਿਸਟਮ ਮੇਨਟੇਨ ਕਰ ਸਕਦਾ, ਪਰ ਦਿਸ ਇਜ਼ ਹਾਊ ਹੀ ਹੈਜ਼ ਮੇਨਟੇਨਡ ਹਿਜ਼ ਲਾਈਫ। ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਸੱਜਣਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਮੁਬਾਰਕਬਾਦ ਦੇਣੀ ਚਾਹਾਂਗੇ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਦਿਨ ਜਨਮ ਦਿਨ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਆ, ਮਤਲਬ 17 ਅਗਸਤ ਨੂੰ, ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਅੱਜ ਐਨੀਵਰਸਰੀਜ਼ ਆਉਂਦੀਆਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ, ਤੇ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਘਰ 'ਚ ਅੱਜ ਜਸ਼ਨ ਮਨਾਇਆ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਨਵ ਜਨਮੇ ਸ਼ਿਸ਼ੂਆਂ ਦਾ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਮੇਰੇ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਲੱਖ ਵਧਾਈ ਹੋਵੇ। ਅੱਜ ਦਾ ਦਿਨ ਬੜਾ ਕਰਮ ਵਾਲਾ ਜੀ, ਬਹੁਤ ਸੋਹਣਾ ਚੜਿਆ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਵਾਸਤੇ। ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇੰਨੀ ਕੁ ਬਰਕਤ ਦੇਵੇ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੀ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਦੀ ਕਾਇਆ ਕਲਪ ਕਰ ਦਿਓ, ਇੱਕ ਪੋਜ਼ਿਟਿਵ ਰੁਝਾਨ ਵੱਲ ਲੈ ਜਾਓ। ਅਸੀਂ ਅੱਜ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ ਬੜਾ ਹਾਸੋਹੀਣਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਟਾਪਿਕ ਵੀ ਡਿਸਕਸ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹਾਂਗੇ। ਹਾਸੋਹੀਣਾ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਦੱਸਾਂ, ਜਦੋਂ ਗੱਲ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋਈ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਦੋਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਉਸ 'ਤੇ ਨਜ਼ਰ ਮਾਰਿਓ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਰ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਵਿਕਦੀ ਹੈ, ਠੀਕ ਹੈ। ਹੁਣ ਡਿਪੈਂਡ ਕਰਦਾ ਕਿ ਉਹਦਾ ਖਰੀਦਦਾਰ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ। ਅਸੀਂ ਇਸ ਤੇ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਚਾਨਣਾ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਪਾਉਣਾ ਚਾਹਾਂਗੇ ਕਿ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਅੱਜ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਮਹਿਸੂਸ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਇੱਕ ਦੂਜੇ ਨੂੰ ਮੋਨੀਟਰ ਕਰਨ ਤੇ ਆ ਗਏ ਹਾਂ। ਕੋਈ ਜ਼ਮਾਨਾ ਸੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਇਹ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਠੀਕ ਚੱਲਦੀਆਂ ਸੀਗੀਆਂ, ਪਰ ਹੁਣ ਜ਼ਮਾਨਾ ਬਦਲ ਗਿਆ। ਹੁਣ ਉਹ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਕਿ ਕਿਸੇ ਜ਼ਮਾਨੇ 'ਚ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਸੀਗੀਆਂ। ਇਸ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਅੱਗੇ ਚੱਲੀਏ, ਅਸੀਂ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਦੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਇੱਕ ਖੋਟ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ। ਅੱਜ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਾਡੀ ਖੋਟ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ, ਉਹ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਜੀ, ਇੱਕ ਸ਼ਖਸ ਸੀਗੇ ਦੁਨੀਆ 'ਚ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਜਨਮ ਲਿਆ ਸੀਗਾ ਹਰਮਨ ਮੈਲਵੀਲ ਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਇਹ ਸ਼ਖਸ ਸਾਡੇ ਇਸ ਵਰਲਡ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਐਗਜ਼ਿਸਟ ਕਰਦਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਜੀ। ਅਗਸਤ 1 1819 ਤੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਸਤੰਬਰ 28 1891 ਤੱਕ। ਹੈਰਾਨੀ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ ਕਿ 1819 ਇਹ ਨੰਬਰ ਹੈ, ਠੀਕ ਹੈ। 18 91 91 ਸੋ 1 ਅਗਸਤ 1819 ਨੂੰ ਪੈਦਾ ਹੋਏ ਤੇ ਸਤੰਬਰ 28 1891 ਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਇਸ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਤੋਂ ਅਲਵਿਦਾ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਚਲੇ ਗਏ। ਇੱਕ ਅਮਰੀਕਨ ਰਾਈਟਰ ਸੀ, ਕੰਜ਼ੂਮੇਟ ਐਡਵੈਂਚਰ। ਮੈਲਵਿਲ ਨੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਟਰੈਵਲਸ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਬੁੱਕਸ ਲਿਖੀਆਂ। He wrote about ocean voyages with rigorous detail. His most famous book ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸੀਗੀ ਵਰਕ ਜਿਹਨੂੰ ਕਿਹਾ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਉਹ ਸੀ ਜੀ ਮੋਬੀ ਡਿਕ, was unappreciated during his lifetime. ਇਹ ਵੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਕਿ ਜਦੋਂ ਜਿੰਦੇ ਰਹੀਏ ਤੇ ਉਦੋਂ ਜਿਉਂਦੇ ਵੇਲੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਉਹਦੀ ਕੋਈ ਵਾਹ ਮਿਲਦੀ ਨਹੀਂ, ਪਰ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਪੂਰੇ ਹੋ ਜਾਈਏ, ਦੁਨੀਆ ਨੂੰ ਛੱਡ ਜਾਈਏ, ਉਸ ਵੇਲੇ ਲੋਕੀ ਬੱਲੇ ਕਰਨ ਲੱਗ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ। ਬਟ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਬੁੱਕ ਸੀ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਮੋਬੀ ਡਿਕ, MOBY ਵਿੱਚ ਹਾਈਫਨ ਹੈ ਜੀ, ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ DICK ਹੈ। ਇਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੇ ਦੌਰਾਨ ਤੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਪਸੰਦ ਕੀਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ, ਪਰ ਜਦੋਂ ਪੂਰੇ ਹੋ ਗਏ ਮੈਲਵਿਲ ਸਾਹਿਬ, ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਇਹ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਦਾ ਵਨ ਆਫ ਦਾ ਗ੍ਰੇਟੈਸਟ ਨਾਵਲ ਕੰਸੀਡਰ ਕੀਤਾ ਗਿਆ। ਹੁਣ ਮੈਲਵਿਲ ਬਾਰੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਫਾਸਟ ਫੈਕਟਸ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਉਹ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਇੱਥੇ ਸ਼ੇਅਰ ਕਰਦਾ। ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਜੀ ਉਹ ਹੁਣ ਇੱਕ ਤਾਂ ਗੱਲ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਰ ਲਈ ਕਿ ਮੋਬੀ ਡਿਕ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇਸ ਨਾਵਲ ਨੂੰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਤੇ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਕਈ ਐਡਵੈਂਚਰਸ ਨਾਵਲ ਟਰੈਵਲ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਸੀਗੇ। ਮੈਨਹੈਟਨ ਨਿਊਯਾਰਕ 'ਚ ਪੈਦਾ ਹੋਏ ਤੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਪੈਰੈਂਟ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਮੈਰੀਆ ਜੈਨਿਸ ਵੂਟ ਐਂਡ ਐਲਨ ਮੈਲਵਿਲ। ਤੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵਰਕ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਮੋਬੀ ਡਿਕ, ਕਲੈਰਲ, ਬਿਲੀ ਬਡ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਜੀ 1 2 3 ਤੇ 4। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਖੋਟ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਉਹ ਆਪਾਂ ਹੁਣੇ ਡਿਸਕਸ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ। ਕੋਟ ਬਾਰੇ ਹੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਸਾਰਾ ਜ਼ਿਕਰ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਜੀ। ਸਾਡੇ ਗੈਸਟ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਆ। ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਸੁਰਾ ਜੀ ਬੜੀ ਜਲਦੀ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸਟੇਜ ਤੇ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਵਾਂਗੇ। ਹਰਮਨ ਮੈਲਵਿਲ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪੈਦਾ ਹੋਏ ਇਹ ਤੀਸਰੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਸਨ ਮੈਰੀਆ ਜੈਨਸੀ ਵੂਡ ਐਂਡ ਐਲਨ ਮੈਲਵਿਲ ਦੇ। ਇਹ ਐਲਬਨੀ ਡੱਚ ਤੋਂ ਬਿਲੋਂਗ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਨ, ਅਮਰੀਕਨ ਰੈਵੋਲੂਸ਼ਨਰੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀਜ਼ ਨਾਲ ਸੰਬੰਧ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਆ। While their relations were lustrous, the family struggled to adapt to changing economic conditions following the War of 1812. न्यूयॉर्क रहे हैं जी। Allen imported European dress goods and Maria ran the household, giving birth to 8 children between 1815 ਤੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ 1830 ਤੱਕ। ਮੈਲਵਿਲ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆ ਤੀਸਰੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਇਹ ਸੀਗੇ। ਤੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਬੁੱਕਸ ਲਿਖੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਟਰੈਵਲ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਕੀਤਾ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਬੁੱਕਸ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਸੀਗੀਆਂ ਉਹ ਠਿੱਠੀ, ਓਮੋ, ਮਾਰਡੀ ਐਂਡ ਏ ਵੋਇਜ ਥਿਟਰ, ਰੈਡਬਰਨ, ਮੋਬੀ ਡਿਕ ਔਰ ਦ ਵੇਲ ਐਂਡ ਪੀਅਰ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਲਿਖੀਆਂ। ਸੋ ਬੜੇ ਹੀ ਇੱਕ ਸਕਸੈਸਫੁਲ ਇਨਸਾਨ ਦੇ ਤੌਰ ਤੇ ਇਹ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਦੇ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਇਹ ਪੇਸ਼ ਹੋਏ ਜੀ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਇੱਕ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਕੋਟ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਆ, ਉਹ ਕੋਟ ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਸਕਰੀਨ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਂਝੀ ਕਰਨੀ ਚਾਹਾਂਗੇ। ਇਸ ਤੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਵਰਕ ਕਰਨਾ ਪੈਣਾ ਹੈ। ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਇਟ ਇਜ਼ ਬੈਟਰ ਟੂ ਫੇਲ ਇਨ ਓਰੀਜਨੈਲਿਟੀ ਦੈਨ ਟੂ ਸਕਸੀਡ ਇਨ ਇਮੀਟੇਸ਼ਨ। ਮਤਲਬ ਦਿਖਾਵੇ ਦੀ ਸਕਸੈਸ ਨਾਲੋਂ ਹਕੀਕਤ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਫੇਲ ਹੋਣਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਉਹ 100 ਦਰਜੇ, 1000 ਦਰਜੇ, ਲੱਖ ਦਰਜੇ ਵਧੀਆ। ਹੁਣ ਸਾਡੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਕੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਇੱਕ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਦਾ ਇੱਕ ਸਿਸਟਮ ਹੀ ਬਣ ਗਿਆ ਕਿ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ 'ਚ ਭਾਵੇਂ ਜਿੰਨਾ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਫੇਲ ਹੋਵੋ, ਸੋਸ਼ਲ ਮੀਡੀਆ ਤੇ ਕਾਮਯਾਬ ਦਿਖਣਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ। ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਕੋਈ ਜਾਲ 'ਚ ਮੱਛੀ ਫਸ ਜਾਵੇ, ਨੌਲੇਜ ਹੋਏ ਨਾ ਹੋਏ ਪ੍ਰਟੈਂਡ ਕਰਨਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ। ਸ਼ਕਲ ਚੰਗੀ ਹੋਏ ਨਾ ਹੋਏ, ਖੈਰ ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਹਿਣੀ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ, ਲੈਟਸ ਡ੍ਰੌਪ ਇਟ। ਅਕਲ ਹੋਏ ਨਾ ਹੋਏ ਪਰ ਅਕਲਮੰਦ ਲੱਗਣਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਫੇਕ ਵਰਲਡ ਆ ਇਹ ਇੰਨਾ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਪਪੂਲਰ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਆਫਟਰ ਦਾ ਇਨਵੈਂਟ ਆਫ ਸੋਸ਼ਲ ਮੀਡੀਆ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਕਦਾ। ਆਈ ਕੈਨੋਟ ਪੁੱਟ ਮੋਰ ਐਂਫੈਸਿਸ ਔਨ ਦਿਸ। But anyways, just keep this quote in mind. It's going to save your life and it's also going to save you from embarrassment ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਐਕਚੁਅਲੀ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੇ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਹੋ। Fake it till make it does not work for me, honest to God. I tried it, it doesn't work for me. You cannot be someone who you are not. So it is better to fail in originality than to succeed in imitation. ਹਰਮਨ ਮੈਲਵਿਲ ਦੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਸ਼ਬਦਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਗੈਸਟ ਮਿਸਟਰ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਸੁਰਾ ਦਾ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜੀ। ਮਿਸਟਰ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਸੁਰਾ ਨੂੰ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਨਾਲ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਸਟਰਗਲ ਕਰਨਾ ਪੈਂਦਾ, ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਕਰਕੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੀ ਟੁੱਟੀ ਫੁੱਟੀ ਅੰਗਰੇਜ਼ੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਜੋੜਨੀ ਪੈਂਦੀ ਹੈ। So Mr. Amrit Sura, welcome to the show, brother. Thank you very much for accommodating my request to shift your day from Thursday to Wednesdays.
You know, any day is a good day, and Sat Sri Akal, very happy to see you again. Blessed again, and again, there was a meaning, there was a reason why this happened. I'll tell you a story. On my journey into the office this morning, the same road that I normally take, as I was turning right, I saw there was a complex, like a townhouse complex. I guess there was a bushfire, like a small landscape bush. One of the homeless in the city had put it alight, and it was very early in the morning, so I parked on the side, stood in the side of the road in my car, And so I called 911 immediately. I thought, my Lord, what is happening? Why is this happening? I mean, it could have caught fire to the dwelling immediately. So I called emergency services. The point I'm trying to make is that because of the change, um, obviously I was able to react quickly. So many people in Abbotsford are thankful to you this morning as well. So,
That's
you
so
know,
kind of you, Mr. Sura. Appreciate that. Mr. Sura,
thank you.
I was watching one video this morning on TikTok.
Okay.
So there is a lady, I will rather not take her name. She talks all about sex toys, and how no man can make her happy, this and that. And it is believed that she is making money by diverting them to her private room online. I don't know what she does there, what she doesn't do there. But recently, she is a Punjabi girl from Punjab. I don't know if she was born in Punjab or if she was born like in other country, but she is Punjabi by her descent. So there are many people opposing to her videos because she talks all vulgar on social media. While I do not, condemn the actions of these individuals because they are worried. Their kids may be watching those videos, they might get influenced. She gets messages from women trying to imitate her style, making money, and she keeps telling she's making a lot of money. People come to her, this and that, and those kind of sexual chat rooms or something like that. So everybody is condemning her on the social on TikTok. So I was watching this video by a Punjabi guy this morning, and he was saying, I usually do not want to comment on the video, but after having seen a few videos of her, I'm ashamed that the culture of Punjab is drifting away from morality, this and that. We respect women, this is what is in our religion and all those things. And I was wondering, when you start watching a video, you get to know what's coming. The flow of the video always suggests what is coming. When I am those videos, I just scroll them up. I don't stay for more than maybe 15 seconds or 10 seconds. I just scroll them, I pass by them. And when you don't see them, you don't have to comment on them. So why you first watch such videos? Because once you start watching, the algorithm keeps displaying the similar videos to you all the time. When you don't look at it, it will stop sending you such a notification or suggesting you the feed. And then who are we to judge a person? We don't know what her circumstances are, what her upbringing is. Saying the whole Punjab has gone bad is not a good statement either. So I was really astonished. Why are people watching these videos in first place and then taking time to condemn her on social media? We are actually promoting her content, right?
Indirectly. Exactly.
We're
So,
actually doing a free marketing for the person, and we are judging individuals all the time. But why? To watch. Stay away from those things.
yeah. So,
It is the
here's,
nature of the mud to spoil your clothing, to spoil your shape. But it is my duty to stay away from the places which have mud there. When you are walking on the road in a rainy season, do you walk right next to the puddle of water? You walk as much away from the puddle of water as you can, so no car can splash the muddy water onto your clothing, right?
exactly.
So
Yeah.
why you get into those situations where when you go, oh, okay, I was walking by this puddle and this silly car, he drove through this puddle of water and my clothes were spoiled. But why were you close to that puddle in the first place, right? I don't know. People are so free these days.
This is the double-edged sword of social media, right? At the end of the day, if you're using it wisely, you can garner some benefit, but unfortunately, the distraction tactic is such that it'll keep you in that cycle of consuming it, right? So I'm sure that you've seen a few of my videos, and it's same kind of content that I'll do all the time. But I I personally don't consume the video, right?
Yeah.
I just put it out there. That's it. My whole operation is, okay, I'm gonna do my daily affirmations, get on with my day. And if I'm there watching all the time, then it's going to take up valuable time. And the only thing I can control in my life is how I behave in my day-to-day routine, right? No one can really comment on somebody else's actions. You can try and help promote a different way of thinking, but
Yeah. I agree.
the
I totally agree. But when I see those videos and I say, "Oh, what's wrong with the people? Why are we so much delving on the content that we then later have to say, oh, this is bad, this is bad. Okay, bad, I get it. But why do you watch it? Stay away from the content. You don't need to be there. You should
right,
shun away. And I totally understand people's fear that how is this going to reflect on their children. It's not good scenario. It's not good
exactly,
scenario, but can we control the world? We cannot. We can only do as much is take precaution, stay away from nonsense, and try to teach good values to your children is all we can do. Is there anything else we can do about it? I don't think so. So if I can tell my children this is a bad thing, you should stay away from it. If I given them good, values in life, and I don't even have to supervise them, they will do all the right stuff. This is where
exactly.
things are.
Yeah, we wanna promote good things and be that voice in our children's, in our nephews, nieces' heads, saying, okay, well, what would my uncle Chachaji or my daddy think of this? What I'm doing now, right? So
Yeah. Well, Mr. Sura, good news. The inflation has come down to 7.6%. My guess was 7.5. RBC Bank predicted 7.7. So we agreed to stay in the middle,
yeah,
7.6%. And as you are aware, the slowdown was largely by the drop in gasoline prices. Consumption has come down, and industrial prices cooled further, but the consumer goods are still on the higher side. Like grocery is about 9.9% higher than what it used to be last year. It has gone way up, which is a very dangerous situation. People are struggling to find their meals. If you look at this, the total in CPI inflation is 7.6% in July 2022. So the grocery items are way more expensive now. This is going to kill many households. Businesses are making profit while common people like you and me are suffering, are handling the whole burden of this inflation over our heads. It has to stop. And how is market going on in these Abbotsford? Sorry, not BC is a big area.
BC is a huge area. So again, there's some obviously people are taking their time to make the decision. Homes are staying on the market a little bit longer. Definitely, uh, definitely still seeing activity, which for our line of work, obviously this kind of helps us create a pipeline for future transactions, but on an immediate sense, sales are still happening because at the end of the day, some sellers who were in a position to pull the trigger, 3 years ago, their price point is back to where it was 3 years ago, and rather than being greedy, they're able to say, okay, well, we're in a position to transition now. We've made commitments in other parts of Canada, or even, some people are moving to the States or out of the country and retiring or taking a different journey. So we're still seeing a robust market. I've been engaged with a number of people who have moved from Montreal, the East Coast, especially coming into BC. So in preparation for some good opportunity. So activity is still good. People are moving now. As far as the number of sales is concerned, there's probably about I'd say 60% less than last year. But the necessity, people who are in the necessity to move, make the move, right? So regardless of the economic downturns, there's still going to be activity. So quite positive on that. As far as, when you look at the inflation rate and all of the research that you do, when you study the GDP for Canada, there's a considerable increase in the gross domestic product, right? So that should be a positive thing for moving forward. Yes, the inflation rate is coming down.
3 months down from now, because by the time they close, the value could already be about 6-7% below what they offer today. So if you are working on an offer today, make sure your client gets a price that will reflect a price about 3 months down now on the day of closing. So if there is an appraisal, at least you don't get a big surprise. Before I go further, Mr. Amrit Sura, we have another esteemed guest with us today. His name is Gurmeet Sohi. He is a very wise man. So I was intrigued by his TikTok videos, and he somehow said some agents are not happy with him. I said, I'm very happy with you, so come see me on my platform. So let me welcome Mr. Sohi up on stage here, and then we talk together. Welcome, Mr. Sohi. You are up on screen, sir.
थैंक यू सो मच जी नवाजिश बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਮੌਕਾ ਦਿੱਤਾ
Gurmeet ji, I will tell you one thing. You are such a nice person. Nobody can hate you. Nobody can be angry with you. So do not have that feeling in your mind. You say whatever you want to say. Nobody can take away your right to freedom of speech at all. So I would like to tell you, Mr. Sura, that Mr. Gurmeet Sohi is a financial advisor, investor, stock trader, a United Nations diplomat. I'm very pleased to have him up here on this platform. Thank you very much, Mr. Sohi, for sparing some time with us.
बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया जी
And you are watching Mr. Amrit Sura. He is from Abbotsford, BC. He does an amazing work, but only his only problem is enu Punjabi nahi aandi.
okay well
Right, Amrit?
keep it
So when you start an old motorcycle, right? It takes its time.
Tori Punjabi aandi.
My accent is a little bit different, but ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਟਾਈਮ ਦੋਗੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸਮਝ ਪੈ ਜੂਗੀ ਵੀ ਹਾਂ ਇਹ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ fully clear
नहीं जी बहुत सही पंजाबी बोलते हैं same situation is with us is especially with me is with the English वो confidence आंदा ही नहीं जी बिल्कुल स्पीकर वाला
So from what I've understood and learned over the years of traveling and working, that ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਹੁਣ educated in India or Kenya, Africa, their understanding of the English language is far better than ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬੰਦੇ ਇੰਗਲੈਂਡ ਤੋਂ ਹੈਗੇ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ or America ਤੋਂ ਵੀ ਹੈਗੇ, right? You've learned it the proper way.
You're right.
Maybe the pronunciations are different, but if you take a student from India, same grade, and take a student from Canada, the understanding is completely different on the English language. So
Yeah. So, Mr. Gurmeet Sohi, we were very happy to see inflation rate going down. At least it's 7.6% now, and major banks are predicting up to 25% down. The market going down, and I know you are very critical of many professionals who don't do their job well, and I highly appreciate that. We need people who can bring forward, put this point forth that, hey, look, when you work with someone, make sure the person is working for you, not for themselves. I am totally in sync with your statement. So what do you have to say about the economy?
Economy wise, if we see, there is a macro picture. Let's start with the macro picture. The world the biggest economy, US and China. ਚਾਈਨਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਪਾਂ ਸਿਚੁਏਸ਼ਨ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ, ਉੱਥੋਂ ਦੀ ਰੀਅਲ ਸਟੇਟ ਮਾਰਕੀਟ ਦਾ ਜੋ ਇੰਪੈਕਟ ਥੋੜਾ ਦਿਖਣਾ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ। ਕੱਲ ਜਾਂ ਪਰਸੋਂ ਦੀ ਨਿਊਜ਼ ਸੀ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ $44 ਬਿਲੀਅਨ ਦਾ ਰਿਲੀਫ ਪੈਕੇਜ ਵੀ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਰੀਅਲ ਸਟੇਟ ਮਾਰਕੀਟ ਨੂੰ, ਬਿਕੋਜ਼ ਐਵਰਗ੍ਰਾਂਡ ਨੇ ਜੋ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਡਾ ਡਿਵੈਲਪਰ ਹੈ, ਉਹਨੇ ਦੁਬਾਰਾ ਫਿਰ ਆਪਣੀ ਮੌਰਗੇਜ ਪੇਮੈਂਟ ਮਿਸ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਹੈ। ਤੋ ਉਹ ਟਸਲ ਹਾਲੇ ਚੱਲ ਹੀ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ, ਐਂਡ ਹਾਊ ਇਟ ਵਿਲ ਪੈਨ ਆਊਟ, ਐਂਡ ਇਟਸ ਸਟਿਲ ਔਨ ਦਾ ਏਅਰ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਸਿਚੁਏਸ਼ਨ ਆਏਗੀ। The problem is China is one of the biggest holder of US Treasury bonds. So ਅਗਰ ਚਾਈਨਾ ਦੀ ਇਕਨੋਮੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਇਟ ਕੈਨ ਇੰਪੈਕਟ, they can dump the US Treasury bond ਤੇ ਉਹਦਾ ਫਿਰ ਇੰਪੈਕਟ ਪੂਰੀ ਦੁਨੀਆ 'ਚ ਦਿਖੇਗਾ। So that is like bigger picture of macro sides. And second, ਜੋ ਆਪਣੀ ਫਸਟ ਵਰਲਡ ਇਕਨੋਮੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ US ਦੀ, they are doing well so far. GDP ਦੇ ਹਿਸਾਬ ਨਾਲ ਦੇਖੀਏ ਤਾਂ ਗਰੋਥ ਥੋੜੀ ਸਲਗਿਸ਼ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ, ਜੌਬ ਨੰਬਰਸ ਆਰ ਸਟਿਲ ਸਟਰੋਂਗ ਜੋ ਲੇਟਲੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਦੇਖੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ। ਸਪੈਸ਼ਲੀ ਦਾ ਪੈਂਟ ਅਪ ਡਿਮਾਂਡ ਵੀ ਕਹਿ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ, ਬਿਕੋਜ਼ ਮੋਸਟਲੀ ਜੌਬਸ ਜੋ ਕ੍ਰੀਏਸ਼ਨ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਸਰਵਿਸ ਇੰਡਸਟਰੀ ਵਾਲੀ ਸਾਈਡ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ, ਜਾਂ ਕੁਛ ਫਾਰਮਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ, ਬਿਕੋਜ਼ ਦ ਪੀਪਲ ਆਰ ਟਰੈਵਲਿੰਗ, ਪੀਪਲ ਵਰ ਐਟ ਹੋਮ, ਰਾਈਟ। ਤੋ ਉਹਦਾ ਵੀ ਇੱਕ ਇੰਪੈਕਟ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ ਟੈਂਪਰੇਰੀ ਜੌਬ ਕ੍ਰੀਏਸ਼ਨ ਹੋਵੇ, ਐਂਡ ਵਿੰਟਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਜੌਬ ਕੰਟੀਨਿਊਸ਼ਨ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਨਾ ਰਹੇ। ਅਗਰ ਆਪਾਂ ਮਾਈਕਰੋ ਪਿਕਚਰ ਦੇਖੀਏ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੀ, ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੇ ਆਰ ਡੂਇੰਗ ਓਕੇ ਸੋ ਫਾਰ। ਵੀ ਲੋਸਟ ਸਮ ਜੌਬਸ, 31,000 ਦੇ ਆਸ-ਪਾਸ ਜੌਬਸ ਲੋਸਟ ਹੋਈਆਂ ਹੈ, ਬਟ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਇਨਫਲੇਸ਼ਨ ਟੀਮ ਡਾਊਨ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਆਲ ਓਵਰ ਦਾ ਵਰਲਡ, ਤੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਇੰਟਰਸਟ ਰੇਟ ਵੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਵੀ ਨੀਚੇ ਹੋ ਰਹੇ ਆ। ਤੇ ਮੇਨਲੀ ਇਹਦਾ ਇਫੈਕਟ ਹੈਗਾ ਵੀ ਆਇਲ ਤੇ ਗੈਸ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਸ ਥੋੜੇ ਟਿਆ $100 ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਰੂਡ ਆਇਲ ਦੇ ਨੀਚੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਟ੍ਰੇਡ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ more than 1 month ਹੋ ਗਿਆ, and that is driving the inflation downside. So we expect ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਵੀ next 1 to 2 months ਇਹ ਟ੍ਰੈਂਡ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੇਖਣ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲੇਗਾ। ਤੇ ਇਸੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਵੀ ਇਸ ਵਾਰ ਜੋ ਬੈਂਕ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦਾ ਇੰਟਰਸਟ ਰੇਟ ਜੋ ਅਨਾਊਂਸਮੈਂਟ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ, they might continue with the expectation with 5 basis point, they can go for 50 basis point, but ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਕਮੈਂਟ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀ ਆਉਂਦੀ, that is also very important for the next rate cut. So ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ next rate cut ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪੌਜ਼ ਦੇਖਣ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲੇ, ਨੈਕਸਟ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇੰਟਰਸਟ ਰੇਟ ਦਾ ਅਨਾਊਂਸਮੈਂਟ ਆਣੀ ਹੈ, ਜੋ ਵੀ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਐਕਸਪੈਕਟਡ ਸੀਗੀ ਅਬਾਊਟ 50 basis point, ਉਹ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਨਾ ਮਿਲੇ। ਸੋ ਉਹਦਾ ਇੱਕ ਸੈਂਟੀਮੈਂਟਲ ਬੂਸਟਰ ਆ ਸਕਦਾ ਰੀਅਲ ਸਟੇਟ ਮਾਰਕੀਟ ਸਪੈਸ਼ਲੀ, ਬਿਕੋਜ਼ ਰੀਅਲ ਸਟੇਟ ਮਾਰਕੀਟ ਇਜ਼ ਡਾਇਰੈਕਟਲੀ ਇੰਪੈਕਟਡ ਬਾਈ ਦਾ ਇੰਟਰਸਟ ਰੇਟ। ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਡਾ ਇੰਪੈਕਟ ਹੈਗਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ, ਰਾਈਟ। ਸੋ ਲਾਰਜਲੀ ਪਿਕਚਰ ਹਾਲੇ ਰਿਸੈਸ਼ਨ ਵਾਲੀ ਤਾਂ ਨਜ਼ਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਆ ਰਹੀ, ਇਕੋਨਮਿਕ ਇੰਡੀਕੇਟਰਸ ਤਾਂ ਇਹੀ ਸੁਜੈਸਟ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ, ਬਟ ਲੈਟਸ ਸੀ ਨੈਕਸਟ 2 to 3 months ਆਈ ਥਿੰਕ ਗੋਨਾ ਬੀ ਵੈਰੀ ਕਰੂਸ਼ਲ। ਬਾਕੀ ਯੂਰਪੀਅਨ ਜੋ ਇਕੋਨਮੀ ਹੈ ਉਹਦੇ ਤੇ ਵੀ ਬੜਾ ਡਿਪੈਂਡ ਹੋਏਗਾ। ਉਹਦੇ ਵੀ ਜੋ ਗੈਸ ਐਂਡ ਆਇਲ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਸ ਦਾ ਇਫੈਕਟ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਹੋਇਆ ਰਸ਼ੀਆ ਦੀ ਵਾਰ ਕਰਕੇ। ਅਗਰ ਉਹ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਹੀ ਕੰਟੀਨਿਊਸ਼ਨ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਬਿਕੋਜ਼ ਵਿੰਟਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਸ ਦੁਬਾਰੇ ਸਿਚੁਏਸ਼ਨ ਐਗਰਾਵੇਟ ਹੋ ਸਕਦੀ ਹੈ, ਗੈਸ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਸਿਸ ਉੱਪਰ ਜਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਉਹਦਾ ਇੰਪੈਕਟ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਫਿਰ ਇਨਫਲੇਸ਼ਨ ਤੇ ਦੇਖਣ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲੇਗਾ। ਬਟ ਨੈਕਸਟ 1 to 2 ਮੰਥ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੈ ਵੀ ਇਨਫਲੇਸ਼ਨ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਡਾਊਨ ਵਰਡਸ ਹੀ ਰਹੇਗੀ ਜਿਸ ਤੱਕ
Okay,
ਮੇਰੀ
I was
ਰੀਡਿੰਗ
going
ਹੈਗੀ।
to ask you this question actually ਕਿ are we in recession? ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹਦਾ ਜਵਾਬ ਵਿੱਚ ਦੇ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਕਿ ਹਲੇ recession ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਿਚੁਏਸ਼ਨ ਤਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ 100% ਆਈ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਹਲੇ GDP ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕਿ 2 ਕੁਆਟਰ ਜੇ ਨੈਗੇਟਿਵ ਗਰੋਥ ਹੋਏ ਤਾਂ ਹੀ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ recession ਅਨਾਉਂਸ ਕੀਤੀ ਜਾਂਦੀ।
ਜੀ ਉਹ ਐਕਚੁਅਲੀ ਟੈਕਨੀਕਲੀ ਤਾਂ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ, 2 ਕੁਆਟਰ ਦੀ ਨੈਗੇਟਿਵ GDP ਆਈ ਹੈਗੀ ਨੰਬਰਸ, ਬਟ ਇਹ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਸਟੈਂਸ ਚੇਂਜ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਬਿਕੋਜ਼ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਜੌਬ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਇੰਪੈਕਟ ਦੇਖਣਾ ਪਏਗਾ। ਲੇਕਿਨ ਜੌਬ ਕ੍ਰੀਏਸ਼ਨ ਠੀਕ ਠਾਕ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਐਂਡ ਪਲੱਸ ਜੋ ਅਰਨ ਆ ਰਹੇ ਆਪਣੀਆਂ ਵੱਡੀ ਵੱਡੀ ਕੰਪਨੀਆਂ ਦੀਆਂ, ਸਪੈਸ਼ਲੀ ਰੀਟੇਲ ਸਾਈਡ ਜੋ ਕੰਜ਼ਿਊਮਰ, ਉਹਦੀਆਂ ਅਰਨਿੰਗ ਠੀਕ ਠਾਕ ਆ ਰਹੀਆਂ। ਇਟਸ ਬੈਟਰ ਦੈਨ ਐਕਸਪੈਕਟਡ। ਜੋ ਫੋਰਕਾਸਟ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਸੀ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਵਧੀਆ ਆ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਅਰਨਿੰਗ। ਇਸ ਲਈ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖੋਗੇ ਸਟਾਕ ਮਾਰਕੀਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖੋਗੇ ਲਾਸਟ 7-6 ਵੀਕਸ ਤੋਂ ਇੱਕ ਰਿਕਵਰੀ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਸਟਾਕ ਮਾਰਕੀਟ ਥੋੜਾ ਇੱਕ ਲੀਡਿੰਗ ਇੰਡੀਕੇਟਰ ਕਾਈਂਡ ਆਫ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਬਹੁਤ ਜਲਦੀ ਡੇਟਾ ਤੇ ਰਿਐਕਟ ਕਰਦੀ ਹੈ ਮਾਰਕੀਟ, ਰਾਈਟ? ਸੋ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਬਲੀ ਰੀਅਲ ਸਟੇਟ ਫੋਲੋ ਦਾ ਸੇਮ ਟ੍ਰੈਂਡ। ਸੋ ਨੈਕਸਟ 2-3 ਮੰਥ ਰੀਅਲ ਸਟੇਟ ਵੀ ਥੋੜੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਸੈਂਟੀਮੈਂਟਲ ਬੂਸਟਰ ਆ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ। तो प्राइस जो लगातार ड्रॉप हो रहे हैं शायद वो एक सस्टेन लेवल तक हो जाए।
Okay, that's a good information. ਅਸੀਂ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ when we are looking at the statistics, if I look at the statistics about construction, ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਵਾਈਡ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕੰਸਟਰਕਸ਼ਨ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆ ਡ੍ਰੌਪ ਹੋਈ ਆ 1.5%, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬਿਲਡਿੰਗ ਪਰਮਿਟ 5% less release ਹੋਇਆ। I think this was what you were talking about, Amrit, day before last time.
Right.
ਸੋ ਓਨਟਾਰੀਓ ਹੀ ਇੱਕ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇਸ ਵਕਤ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪ੍ਰੋਵਿੰਸ ਹੈ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਕਿ ਬਿਲਡਿੰਗ ਪਰਮਿਟ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆ 11.6% ਅਪ ਹੋਏ ਆ, ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਰਿਲੀਜ਼ ਹੋਏ ਆ। ਜਿਹੜੀ ਇਹਦੀ ਓਨਟਾਰੀਓ ਪੁਸ਼ਿਜ਼ ਅਪ ਰੈਜ਼ੀਡੈਂਸ਼ੀਅਲ ਸੈਕਟਰ, ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਪਰਮਿਟ ਰਿਲੀਜ਼ ਕੀਤੇ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਵੈਲਿਊ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ 3.1% ਤੋਂ ਮਤਲਬ 8.2 billion nationally increased. The value of residential permits in June increased 3.1% to $8.2 billion nationally. ਜਿਹੜੇ ਮਲਟੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਬਿਲਡਿੰਗ ਪਰਮਿਟ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆ ਉਹ ਇਨਕਰੀਜ਼ ਹੋਇਆ 6.5% ਨੇਸ਼ਨ ਵਾਈਡ। ਓਨਟਾਰੀਓ ਵਿੱਚ 24.8% ਦਾ ਇਨਕਰੀਜ਼ ਹੋਇਆ, ਲੀਡਿੰਗ ਦਾ ਵੇ due to several apartment buildings being built in Mississauga. Overall, 15 of the 20 highest value permits submitted across all sectors were for apartments or condo buildings. So ਇਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਥੋੜਾ ਇੱਕ ਤਾਂ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸ਼ੈਲਟਰ ਮਿਲੂਗਾ ਤੇ ਦੂਸਰੇ ਇਕਨੋਮੀ ਨੂੰ ਬੂਸਟ ਮਿਲੇਗਾ। I'm not talking as expert financial advisor like Mr. Sohi is, but ਸਾਡੀ ਨੌਲੇਜ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਇੱਕ ਲੇਮੈਨ ਟਾਈਪ ਦੀ ਨੌਲੇਜ ਹੈ which we derive from sources we trust they are reliable, but we talk about these numbers totally without any representation to accuracy or any other guarantee implied or otherwise. So sada data sirf jo milda sanu from sources, they are not public sources. Sometimes we extract them from sources that come to us due to our membership with different regulators, which is a good thing. A permit going up means more houses will be built up and there will be competition for the best prices. Sohi Saab, do you think it is a right idea to buy builder homes this time? Because builders have already increased the values of the houses pre-built. I don't know what they will look like 2 years from now when the possession comes due.
So that was a question for Mr. Sohi, right?
Okay, I thought Mr. Amrit would be a better position to answer that on our real
Okay,
estate
so
side.
all right, let's see. I mean, for the value that they're proposing in a 2-year outlook, will it stay stagnant or will it come down in value? I think based on what would be available in the marketplace and the historic sales trend would definitely reflect that. I mean, any appraiser is going to look at historic sales and see, well, is this value still the same as it was when it was marketed? I think Canada real estate, wherever you are, whether it's in Toronto, or sorry, Ontario, or in BC, there's always going to be a demand for it. So someone's going to see the value in taking the plunge and moving their entire family to a different country for the sake of the safety that we offer here. So there's many things that nobody can look in a crystal ball and say, hey, it's going to be a 50% increase on your investment strategy after 2 or 3 years when the building's complete. But historically, everything in Canada has gone up. We discussed 2 weeks ago that there was 190% change just in Abbotsford. Abbotsford is a little town. It was a little town. Now it's a thriving big city because, again, there's a lot of growth attracted here because the farming community, there's an international airport, and specific communities wherever they are. If there is a pre-built scenario, someone will see the value. Someone will see the value. Okay. I like it because of the proximity to the schools that are around for my children to get educated. So, whether it's Vancouver, whether it's Edmonton, whether it's Ontario, like there's specific schools that some of my clients, they sold their properties in BC and moved to Edmonton because there were some schools in Edmonton that were able to facilitate their children. So again, looking into the crystal ball, if there is a crystal ball, will they tally up? Possibly. I mean, but generally, historically, we've seen an increase. Yes, there's small dips, but there will be, continuous demand for British Columbia real estate. Look at the immigration numbers. Mr. Sohi may lend some comment on how he sees some of his client base coming into Canada from other parts of the world, for the sake that, okay, there's more security in this part of the world, right? And these people are going to fuel the economy. These are yes, everybody's an immigrant in Canada, but primarily the immigrants that are coming in to Canada now, they're professionals. They come in here to work. They might start on a student visa and then buy into a business. They're going to fuel the economy, and over time, you'll see gradually things will start to improve. Yes, there's a crisis at the present time in the market. Inflation rates are at an all-time high, but in the space of 3 months, like we've just come down. Although it's a fraction that it's come down, it's happened within a matter of 3 months.
I think you should be a diplomat. Your answer to the whole question is very diplomatic. It is between yes and no. But what I think is, builders who sold the houses, let's say last year, those houses were priced at that time's market values. Builders see all these things. They see the prices going up. They price their development accordingly. So there are still many units which have not sold. They are still there. If you go to Kitchener, you will find builders trying to sell. those units even on MLS system, excuse me, or using the matrix system. I see many listings from builders trying to sell their pending units for prices that people are not going to buy them at. Many people close the houses thinking they will, make a profit, but now they are just trying to cover their cost. This is unfortunate. And I'm thinking maybe this year will not be a good year for the builders unless they price the houses pre-construction at a very competitive prices. This is what my take is. I may be wrong, but this is what I think as a layman, as a common person. I'm not putting my expert opinion here. This will be a common man's perception. I think they are going to wait. What do you think, Mr. Sohi?
Yeah, my 2 cents that I do not have data actually, but what I think is the mostly जो pre-booking हुंदी हैगी है, it's the investor mindset kind of people do the pre-booking than the first-time home buyers, right? So it's mostly driven by the investor. सो वो इन्वेस्टर इस टाइम मार्केट तो थोड़ा जिहा अपना हैंड पिछे खिंच रहे हैं बिकॉज रिस्क रिवार्ड रेशियो और कॉस्ट ऑफ बोरिंग इज मेन रीजन राइट so is developer the new unit as you said they can get a big hit actually they can go on for next few years I would say because
I am pretty confident this is unlike we can just predict, we can assume. If you think from a common man's perspective, things could be totally different because we may keep saying, oh, the best price, but they don't want it. And builders, they need approval for mortgage before you give them firm up the offer. They need to know you are approved because they need to cover their asses off. Sorry for this language. But they just want to tell, hey, they told you if you're getting interest rate of 5.29%, you are not qualified at 5.25%, at 7.29%. Come on, give a break to those people. It's too, this was $400,000. And she asked me, can you tell me if I qualify for this? I looked up at her current mortgage where she is living and expected mortgage, and I said, you are mortgage eligibility for her was minus $100,000. I'm just rounding the number. It could be minus $98,000, but the system told me that she is already over this rate. So this is going to, Sohi Saab, keep doing the good work. Keep educating community about what they should watch out. That's the whole purpose of this program is. We like to educate waivers or without any return. Unless people know what to ask a realtor, what to ask them to do for them, things will be chaotic as always. Those people who just jump, it's doing great. Seen any listings with signs on them that say sold 300,000 were asking. You see that in Meadowvale area? I don't see any. I don't see many, but yeah, there's still some people who will say they got 13 offers. Come on, if you price $1 million home for $500,000, you will get more than 13 offers.
Yeah, those are all texts, right? That's that all the time happens in the real estate industry. But the fundamentally, as I my video also, this is not very good situation for the buyers. If you see the affordability ratio is very bad. Still, the fundamental hasn't changed. The price have come down like 20%, let's say 20-25%. But fundamentals are still the same. The affordability is more or less same. So the average household income, in Canada is under 100,000, and the average home price is like 600 and 900 something $1,000. So the affordability, according to the financial sense, will be 3 to 4 times your annual income, the house you buy. So we are far away from the affordability ratio, and
you're right.
New reasons that can drive the market for certain number of years, let's say for 3 years, 5 years maximum. But if you see the longer time picture for 20 to 30 years picture, so fundamentals always sink in sooner or later. So it might not come down to actually 6 to from now it's almost 8 to 9 times. So there is still space for the second thing. The qualification, as we have discussed, that will be difficult. One should watch for the economic indicator also. If there is a recessionary environment, it also impacts people's job, the livelihood. So if you're taking too much the mortgage, if you're like 50% more than 50% per payment goes to the mortgage, then one should be very watchful over there. So your
Yeah,
personal finance thing, you also have to consider how much you can afford conveniently. I mean, if even you lose one of the job, let's say both husband and wife are working,
absolutely.
paying, do the all
I
and
totally
meets.
agree with that.
Yeah, it can very well happen. The companies can do the layoff quickly. No, bar over there. There is no such regulations. This is just a 1 month notice. Mostly it's a 2 week notice.
Yeah,
So we consume a lot of things as a end user, but we need to be careful, especially when you buy the house. Uh, as I talk in my personal finance videos, if the mortgage payment is under 30% of whatever income you bring home, then it's okay, makes sense. But mostly we are paying most biggest expensive our in a house mortgage payment, right? Sometimes it takes 60 to 70% of our income. So that's where you be a little careful, mindful, going forward for at least for
yeah.
next 2 to 3 years.
I agree. Mr. Sohi, currently the affordability is about, this is the fact. So this time people are paying about 43% of their disposable income to cover the shelter expenses. It has gone way too high, from 39%, I guess, from the last month and 34.5% from the previous year. So when you say mortgage payment below 30%, it's not happening for a long time. People are paying close to 43%. This is the latest data about this information. And it is hard with the inflated grocery bill by close to 10%. People are frustrated. That's why you see those incidences of snatching or theft, auto theft, they are on the rise. Even people are so angry, they don't hesitate to shoot other people these days. It has become a commonplace. The attack on Jyoti Singh Man was the latest one in the series, which was very condemnable act, but shouldn't have happened. I don't know what transpired, how it happened, what was the ground reality for this, because there are always two sides to each and every incident that happened. But you are right. People should watch for their affordability, not only this time, like, okay, if I can buy a mortgage today, okay, let's get a house. They should look at least 5 years down the lane, because mortgage is a risk. It is a commitment where you
This is the
are
biggest
bound for a
liability
long
one
term.
can take. Yeah, user don't consider this is one of the biggest liability we take for 20 to 30 years, and we have
Yeah,
to pay every month. It's not like a one-time
you
debt,
pay
right?
every month and there is no escaping from it. This is the first expense people should pay from their pocket, the shelter
Yeah,
expenses. And they are
people mistake
43% right now.
yeah, people mistake the real estate as a investment. This is not an investment when you borrow money for any asset. That's called a speculation investing, right? If it's a leverage play, if 20% price goes up, your capital goes double. If 20% goes down, your capital becomes zero. If you have to do the
That's
transaction,
true. I
so
agree.
you have
Every investment has some risk and all those potential. But what people should understand is, if someone loses a job, someone gets, loses a limb, gets into an accident, is unable to earn anymore, make sure you have proper coverage. You are protected. So many credit card companies that give you some kind of insurance, they charge $2 or $3 per bill. In my understanding, that just covers your minimum payment on the bill. If it is $20, they will pay $20, but you still owe the whole money to pay them. So don't be
yeah.
fooled by banks offering you the coverage that if you can't pay, we will pay for you, and then they charge $2-3 every month and you say you are happy. Okay, I can spend $5,000, and if I can't make payment, the bank will cover that. Bank will only cover maybe $15 of that payment. Right, Mr. Sura? Have you come across
Yes,
those things?
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, the bank's job is to promote money borrowing, right? Now, we have to be sensible enough to educate our clients, our peers, our colleagues, in order to say, okay, well, these are the costs that are incurring on a day-to-day basis. So,
Yep.
very important, the education system needs to sort of bring in people with knowledge like Mr. Sohi and yourself to say, okay, guys, yeah, what are your goals and dreams and hopes? Let's put that into reality and have some kind of perspective on the future. Now, yes, live for the moment, but don't have a conversation. Don't have the conversation where it's all feels encouraging, but then there's no hope because there's nothing in the pot, right?
You're right, Mr.
So
Sura. One has to be very proactively thinking, because this is what I keep saying to people. If you want to wait, wait as long as you can. But at the same time, if you are able to buy today without stressing yourself out, today is the right time. But buy at a price a few months down. Make sure the house value are going down by around 2 to 3% every month. We are seeing it. Exceptions do occur. Somewhere it is a little less, somewhere it is a little more. But you should do an educated guess and try to add a clause. Let's say the seller doesn't agree at a future price. The house is listed for, let's say, $1 million, and you try to give him 6% less because you're closing in 3 months period. And you say, no, I need to take 60,000 off this value because of the market uncertainty. And the seller doesn't agree to that. Okay, that's fine. Then there is a workaround to that. Add a clause in there that the appraisal will determine the real value. And if the appraisal is off by more than, let's say, $50,000, the seller will have to adjust the price. So seller should understand that he has to be very careful when he makes his next move. Because when a house sells, the seller has to either upgrade or downgrade. So based on your promise, when you remove the conditions, the seller takes the next step. So if you are unable to qualify at a later date, it's not seller's fault. It is your fault because you did not take care of yourself at that offer. If you have a clause built in that if the appraised value comes less by more than $50,000, if that is a margin you can handle easily, then the seller will adjust the price accordingly. So if you don't do that, it's going to be a suicidal step, because people are losing deposit over this, or they are taking high rate private mortgage from individuals, which are called shark loan companies. I don't know if I use the right word. You call them shark loaners or
loan
shark
sharks,
lenders?
loan sharks.
Loan shark, yeah, that's the right word. So you're talking about loan shark. So to stay away from loan sharks, you have to be wise today. That's okay, buying today is not a bad idea. But listen to Mr. Sohi, don't be angry with him because he's talking the sense into people's mind. Those things do matter a lot.
I completely agree. I totally resonate with your idea. This is not the worst time for the first time home buyer, especially because
Yeah,
price has come down 20-30% already in most places. And so is your payment going to go up like 30 to 40% hitting the interest rate, right?
yeah,
So, but your down payment also going to be significantly reduced. $1 million house, you're getting an 8K now. So you will save something on a down payment. So
yeah,
if you are going to buy for a long term, the best is probably not the best time, but it's not also the worst time. So you're getting still okay value. But for the investor side, the numbers are encouraging because of the cost of borrowing, and so if you buying the first home, I would still suggest you could start looking. Not the bad time
Thank you very
actually.
much, Mr. Sohi. There is a very decent input. I really appreciate you. Please keep coming back on this program. Just send me a message. You got the link. You can use it 1,000 times. Just tell me, Paul,
Okay,
I want to come. I have something to share, and I would love to host you. For a weird
sure.
reason, today my GPU is telling me it is overloaded, and I don't know what that means. I have the highest, a monster computer setup just for broadcasting. This is the first time I am seeing this message. So maybe I did something wrong. So I'm a techie guy. I'm one man show here.
Well,
So, well, thank you guys. Thank you very much for your input. Amrit,
thank you,
you are
Mr. Sohi.
coming back next Wednesday.
Yes, please.
Thank you very much. Amrit comes, used to come on Thursdays, but Thursdays I got some kind of overlap with other meetings. So the reason I requested you to skip Thursday was because I can always record my episode the night before and stream it the next day live. So Thursday
Perfect.
I'm trying to deviate a bit, but yeah, famous. Do you have any final words to say, Mr. Sohi, before I switch to Mr. Sura?
Just I wanna say thank you for putting that point, strategic point for new buyers to have this appraisal, clause. I think it's a very good point, especially who's looking to buy at this point. So it was a wonderful talking to both of you. Amriti, I will try to follow you on. I think you are on TikTok or YouTube. Um, so maybe see you some other in some other episode soon.
Absolutely.
Thank you
I'm
so
looking
much.
forward to it. Yeah. Thank you so much. Your valuable information is appreciated. And I'm thinking the more you do it, the better it is. You're impacting community on a daily basis. So don't stop what you're doing.
Yep.
Appreciate your comments. Thank you.
Yeah, be fearless, because you have to be open to criticism. You can't think like other people. So you have to think the way you think. You don't have to change yourself. This is the quote we shared before. It is better to fail in originality than to succeed in imitation. So people
Absolutely.
pretend to be successful when they are not. It is better to say, hey, I failed. I didn't do it right. I'm sorry. I'm trying to be better. But people don't do that. People want to show them in. Now these days, all the realtors on social media have become jumpy. I want to dance like them. I want to show like this, like this. Like I cannot do that. I tried, but this is not in my genes. I don't know, I can't be that humorous. This is my problem. But I see them and I say, oh really? That's awesome. But before we end the program, I would like to thank Amrit Sura. If you need any help with real estate in Abbotsford, BC, his phone number to call is 778-999 and 1531. I remember it thoroughly. I still have to remember Mr. Sohi's phone number, but Mr. Sohi, if you can just share your phone number where people can reach to you if they need any financial advice, please do so now.
Yeah. So my contact number is 437-288-2871. And my WhatsApp
437-288-2871.
2871.
So please give him a shout if you need any help. He is available anytime you need help. So before we close this session, I would like to sympathize with all those families who lost their beloved ones today. We all have to leave this world, beautiful planet, but we shall pray for peace to the departed soul, and also we shall pray to God that He gives you strength to overcome this biggest void, vacuum in your life. Keep enjoying the legacy those people left behind, and keep them in your thoughts. Thank you very much for watching PC24RE TV. We will be back tomorrow from 10:30 to 11:30 a.m. If you like our show, please subscribe to our YouTube channel It is PC24RETV, and I will request you to share it with your friends and family members. This is the non-political, non-religious platform. We talk all those things that make sense for a common home buyer and home seller, and I'm supported with my colleagues just like Mr. Amrit Sura, and now we have a host, a guest, Mr. Gurmeet Sohi. So please stay in touch. Thank you very much, and we take it offline now. Bye bye.